Hola amigos, soy Jane y esto es Fincarte. Bienvenidos. So, I mentioned in a film a little while ago that we were sorting out our grey water situation. That's my beautiful boy. He's been a bad boy. He's been fighting with a feral cat, and you came off worse, didn't you? Yeah. He was limping for a while and he had one eye shut, so off we went to the vet. You want down? Walking around the house like this. We got him to the vet, and what does he do? Both eyes wide open, no limp. Anyway, she did find a really tiny wound in his leg, and she looked in his eye and he has a scratch on the cornea, so we have drops. I thought I would show you the soil that we started with, so you can appreciate just how difficult growing anything that doesn't grow naturally, like the wildflowers and the grass, how difficult it is growing stuff here. It is basically like builder's sand. There is just no substance to it at all. We've had some landscaping work done following the flooding that we had on the finca. Now the house was fine, however the Pozo Negro, the septic tank that we have here, completely filled and overfilled and overflowed with water. Since then it's been more smelly than usual, and we think that the amount of water that went in there has upset the natural balance. Now this is an old-fashioned Pozo Negro, which is no longer legal when you're building a new house. All of the wastewater, the toilet water, the shower water, washing machine, everything went into there, and we have wanted for several years to change that and have our grey water recycled onto the garden. We've had a new pipe installed. We inherited a system that is extremely complicated, and the original plumber who did it is retired, and I don't know even if he's still alive. So nobody knows exactly where the pipes go. The bathroom shower and, well, not the toilet. That is a whole other thing. We are changing from a water toilet, flushable toilet, to a composting loo. So that's a whole new film. But the shower, the basin in the bathroom, and the washing machine, and the outdoor kitchen sink will all empty into this deposito here. Now we've been experimenting with a filter system. There are two filter boxes. This one has sand in it, and this one here, which can't get the cover off for you at the moment, did have twigs, and olive twigs and olive leaves. Hello, beautiful. Now our first attempt was not terribly successful. This filter seemed to actually just stop the water flowing. I mean, it's a reasonable sized pipe, but we found it was backing up, and then the washing machine was actually emptying somewhere else. There was all sorts of carry-on with water coming up different pipes and things. So basically the water would flow through the one filter and then through the sand and gravel It's a sand gravel mix, that one. And then into this deposito here. But when that is full, that water will be used on the trees and the flowers. Bearing in mind that there is no shade here and it's going to get full sun all through the summer, the idea was that I would just plant oleanders. They are colourful, they are hardy, and although I am going to augment the soil, it's not going to get the same attention that the vegetable garden or the other flower beds get. So I'm just adding manure. I have 3 baby oleander that I grew from seed, and they'll be going in there, but I'm going to have to go to the garden centre and buy some bigger plants. But if they're to have a chance here with this soil and this environment, I really am going to have to add a lot more manure. Sweetie shop. Let me show you also the trench that we had built, because a huge amount of water came down and hit the back of the house and kind of was just pooling there. We didn't have any flooding, but we decided that it was time to clean out the trenches that were already here, and also to make a new one. Now, because I have also wanted a patio, a courtyard, for ever such a long time, we've built a wall to enclose the back of the house and make a courtyard. And we had to move one fig tree. It was a reasonably productive fig tree, so we were a bit sad to see it go. But it was a bit close to the house, and it did make the sitting room a little bit darker. I mean, it's a dark sitting room anyway, but when we dug it up, well, I say we, when the man with the digger dug it up, let me show you the roots of this fig tree. This is it here. There's bits of an old olive there, so we're not looking at that one. What we're looking at is this. This. Actually, no, there's the trunk. Right, so I'm looking at it upside down. That's the trunk there. And this is how the roots went. They came down here, around, and then out. I mean, that's just incredible. And of course there were some giant boulders as well, which have been dragged out and just sort of dumped here. But well, we've got a lot of work to do this year. Actually, I may have jumped the gun here. Steve has to put a little fence around the deposito because we don't want anybody or anything walking on it. Yeah, I'll just bring some more manure and dump it and finish it later. The manure pile is not so much a pile as a flat now. That's the fault of the hens. actually just left the manure lying on top of the ground because it's like concrete. We should have got it this sooner when the weather was still wet, but we've had weeks of wind now, and the digger man drove over this. If I can just get a hole dug for the oleander, we'll cross our fingers and hope for the best, because it's impossible to dig it all over. Impossible. The sun is lovely, and the birds, and the silence. I'm going to have a sit down. Without saying, all the products that we use in the shower and for cleaning are ecologically friendly.